Okay, so this is the hip internal external rotation mobilization, also called swivel hips by some people. You could probably come up with a more creative name than that, but it'll serve our purpose for now. So this is working on internal rotation and external rotation at the hip at the same time. So if you have troubles getting deep into knee flexion, like you need, or hip flexion, if you need to in the squat, this is going to be a good go-to for you. It'll probably expose you to some range of motion you're not used to getting to, and it might be a good low back saver, knee saver, ankle saver, all kinds of other joints that may compensate for hip mobility. So I'm going to sit with my feet about shoulder width apart, maybe just a little bit wider, and my knees bent to a little greater than 90 degrees, so I'm not quite in my deep squat position yet, because that'll be a little bit too hard on my hip mobility for right now. Butt is on the ground on both sides, low back is nice and flat, so good posture. And what I'm going to do is just kind of turn my knees, trying to get my knees to the floor. So I'm internally rotating on one side, externally rotating on the other side, back and forth. So I'm trying to touch my left knee to the floor between my legs, my right knee to the floor outside of my legs. I'm just going to go back and forth, find out which side is more restricted. For me, it's going this way. And then I'm just going to touch that end range, push a little bit, pull back, push a little bit, and repeat for reps. So if you're doing this mobilization and your hips are coming off the floor, you'll commonly see people really try to get both knees down to the ground and the hip comes up. If you're doing that, you're using your low back mobility to compensate for hip mobility, which is a terrible idea unless you like low back injuries. So don't do that. Keep your butt on the ground on both sides. Try to touch the knees down. If you find a discrepancy in mobility from side to side, just play around with it briefly. Also check out my videos on the hip airplane mobilization. It's another great move for working on the same problem. And squatting for hip mobility would be another good one for you. And definitely subscribe to this video so that I can make some more very similar to it. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll get to them right away.